but in a different light. When I was at Alabama playing against Auburn was kind of like that feel, but it felt even more of like a hatred, especially playing on the road against those teams at OSU and MSU. So something that I'm always looking forward to, always looking for a bit more fuel than we already have coming into games. So it's something to be excited for.
And there's a lot of guys that are going to get their first taste of this. I guess just what do you tell them about what to expect?
Just expecting loud noise, a lot of crazy talking stuff from fans. I remember some times at OSU and MSU, fans say some crazy things, and they just think of out the blue things to say. And it's kind of taking it as a joke, and also to use this feel on the court to, beat the opponent, but doing it in the right way. So the message to them is just to stay composed and have fun doing what we do every day.
Nimari, I know you're someone who consider a teammate and you think about things outside of the mental side of basketball. You talk about that a lot. Like as it relates to Roddy, I guess what have your conversations been like with him while he's gone through some shooting struggles, but moving out of starting lineup, things like that.
Yeah, just telling him to be himself and to play as himself. Getting him to this moment that he's in today, as far as just being here at Michigan and being a big part of this team. That doesn't change, and not only does a few of us tell him that, but also the coaching staff, and we've all done a great job, especially the coaching staff, of making sure that he's mentally composed, as it is a thing that he handles himself, but also like giving him the comfort to be comfortable in a new environment, but also just like to have fun being where we are today as a team. So. Just being there for him as a brother, as a teammate, I think that's very important. As as we all navigate different parts of the season that has its highs and lows. So we're all there for him.
Have you talked to him about Ohio State at all in that matchup? Has he talked about it, or is it kind of something that you guys have put on the shelf a little bit?
Yeah, we've all talked about it. He's talked about it. He's very, very excited for it, and I know it means a lot to him. He's ready to go out there and play as hard as he can, just like everyone else. But obviously, it's a little extra chip on his shoulder. So it's something that we all talked about how we're looking forward to it.
Justin Joyner just called you consistent. So where do those habits come from for you?
I'm just doing everything that I possibly can and trying to win with literally everything, even in practice. Like, we go against whoever, whether it's the scout team or we go against each other. It's something we got to win every single possession, every single play. And I think if you have that mindset, doing it every single day at a consistent level, then ultimately you'll be consistent. And also just believing in your habits and your work ethic and what you do on a day-to-day basis, and being invested into it. I think that breeds consistency.
What have the differences been with Ruben in the starting lineup? Dusty talked about maybe he doesn't need all the shots or to do it himself, the swing passes, like kind of he's more of a connector. Has that helped you guys, do you think, with that group out there?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of weapons as far as any group, but especially Ruben, just bringing what he brings, at an even, better level as far as defensively, being active, and being a menace on ball and off ball. He's very he has a very good IQ, and he understands the game defensively and offensively. Like you said, being a connector, playing together, and he emphasizes how important it is for every possession for us to take care of the ball and be out there doing great things defensively and being disruptive. So just like everyone else, but especially with him and his mindset and his maturity, I think it helps us a lot.
How happy for him were you towards the end of the game when he made those plays?
I mean, you seen us. We were super excited, super charged up that he got on the boards and dunked it home. Like, it was exciting to see, especially all the fans being into it. It was a special moment, and also special for him because I know that he knows that he's capable of doing great things for this team, and to see him, be a part of that at an even high level, it was amazing to see.
Joyner said there's been a lot of growth and maturity since the Purdue loss. I guess what has that been from your perspective?
I think it kind of contributes to what he asked me as far as being consistent in everything we do. Defensively, our habits are our habits, and being in tune with that on each and every possession. And offensively, of course, taking care of the ball has been a big emphasis for our team the entire season. So doing those things at a consistent level, having a good mindset, and being intentional in everything we do, I think our maturity level has grown in that aspect.
And building on that, Dusty said you guys have been the hammer, not the nail, as of recent. Talk about kind of what that's been like from your perspective on a day-to-day basis and practice and all that.
For sure. Being a hammer and not the nail really stems to being physical on each and every possession, doing it the right way, of course, without fouling, and being the ones who impose the physicality on the boards defensively and kind of steering where we want the offense or defense to go. I think we're more of the dictators in that aspect, and we're doing a better job of that.
You already mentioned the crazy things people said in these articles. Does anything stand out? Anything you can repeat?
Nothing that I remember like verbatim, because it was like a year ago. I do remember it warranted a reaction one time against Ohio State. I don't remember what was exactly said, but I think it was like something along the lines of like family members, and it's just like, all right, bro, you're crossing the line. Obviously, it was also like a stressful time in the season last year too. So, but yeah, I mean, I told the guys to be prepared for it.
How did it feel, I guess, with the home environment you saw the other night? Not to compare everything to last year, but just how far things have come in a year for you guys. Now you're top of the Big Ten after all the struggles last year.
Yeah, man, it's a tale of 2 years, man. Me and Ian and some of the other guys talked about it, about how things can change in a blink of an eye. And it's super exciting to see the fans be in tune with, such a potential special season for us. And, like we said at the beginning of the year, we thought we had the camaraderie, the team, and, just every aspect of, the program to have a special team and a special group. And we're seeing it here in live action, so it's exciting to see.
Is this team still somehow underrated nationally?
I do think we're underrated nationally. As I'm sure Coach has kind of topicked on, we don't feel like we hit our full potential yet. And I think that's a great spot for us to be in, but also like knowing that, all right, it's that time. It's beginning to be late February and then going into March. So now is the time to kind of, get to that full potential and get to the best version of ourselves, which I think we're very, very close to.
It's interesting though, because this brand is not one that's ever underrated, right? It's normally very, very prominent. Why do you think you guys have been able to still sort of stay under the radar? Although the SEC and the Big Ten are perceived as the two best teams, or two best leagues, you are on top of one of them, yet here you are kind of in the mid-teens.
I think it just has, it has something to do with, last year and the perspective of fans and media, and then also like the expectations weren't set super high. And so even with the personnel that we have on this team, people don't think that, we are as good as, we are. And also they don't think that this can continue. So we kind of keep that with a chip on our shoulder, and we keep a good mindset within the house to know that, like, all right, we know what we're capable of. We work every single day in practice, and we go out there and compete in games, and we know how special we can be. So we just keep it in our minds and go out there and show it on the floor.